Thank you for listening to the 39th Street Church of Christ Daily Devotional. The devotional today is Dare to be a Noah, presented by Jack Williams.
What did Noah do? Well, you ask that question, and most people automatically, he built an ark. And yes, he did. It's an amazing thing. The ark he built is fascinating. I'd still like to go see that replica that was built, but that's only part of it. I think sometimes we kind of miss the boat, so to speak, in the sense that we don't realize what else went on. Hebrews the 11th chapter in verse 7, we find that Noah, being warned of God of things is not yet seen, moved with fear, prepared an ark. But the very next phrase says, to the saving of his house. Now you think about that and you consider, why is that important? Why do I need to realize that part? Well, salvation of mankind. That's God's desire, God's goal, has been throughout all eternity. Jesus Christ, in Luke 19 and verse 10, came to seek and save that which is lost. And we look to Noah and we need to realize, yes, the struggles he went through in building that were immense. I can't even imagine what it was like. But you look and you find a statement made. 2 Peter 2 and verse 5, we find that Noah was a preacher of righteousness. I still remember a time whenever a man told me, as I read that passage, he said, well, he wasn't much of a preacher. And I thought then, how foolish that is. If I could dare to be a Noah and do what he did, Noah built that ark to the saving of his own house. Peter tells us in 1 Peter the 3rd chapter, he says, the like figure whereunto baptism doth also now save us. And in the context there, he's talking about Noah and the saving of 8 souls. The saving of him, his wife, his sons, and their wives. 8 souls saved. Why? Began with Noah. I look today and I think about all the struggles that you and I may face, nobody knows what I'm facing during this time or any other trial that may come. In Genesis the 6th chapter in verse 5, you find that the world was totally wicked. The thought of every heart was on evil continually. Well, kind of sounds like our world at times, doesn't it? But Noah kept going. He didn't give up. He didn't say, well, it's just too hard to go against the flow. He realized what he was facing, but he kept on. And then you think about the idea of, well, it's just too hard. I'm too tired. You look at the logistics of building that ark. You think what's before us is hard? Can you imagine how tired that Noah got? And yet he kept on. You look and you think about how he might say, well, if I say this, if I give this message, if I stay this way, you know what that means to my friends, my other family, and such as that? In Genesis, the 7th chapter, in verse 16, we find that whenever Noah did go in the ark, God closed the door. An old-time preacher, Marshall Keeble, said, you know why God shut the door? He said, because Noah would have said, come on, Grandma. Come on, Grandpa. But you see, the justice of God is such that he does what is necessary. There has to be a just recompense for sin, just as there is just recompense for righteousness. I'm not the judge, and Noah realized that, but he made it possible for others to make a decision based on the righteousness revealed from God. That's why he was a preacher of righteousness. But what Noah did say was no doubt to his family right around him. I know it's hard. I know we get tired, but it's worth it. There's a judgment day coming, but we can do it together. I go through life and I think about the struggles that are there, and at times We all get feeling lonely, especially when we're not able to be with each other as we wish. But you know, I think about my family. Well, I think about all of you, but I think about my immediate family. If I don't dare to be a Noah, what's going to happen? You know, if my wife had not dared to be a Noah, be a preacher of righteousness, be a righteous individual herself, to keep herself perfect, unspotted from the world, to walk with God. You see, that's what she did. That was the example she set for me and for our children. What if she hadn't dared to be a Noah, even whenever her hard-headed husband fought against her at times? Where would my family be? Where would my family be if I had not made the decision to be a Noah myself? To take that word, to walk that way, to separate myself from the world, and to do what God said. You know, I could give you a long list of Noahs in my life, and I'm thankful for every one of them. But you know, the one I control the most is me. Whenever I face the struggles, the trials, the hardship, the weariness, I look and I think about the souls under my care. I think about my children, my grandchildren, my wife, and I think if I don't keep on, what will happen? Well, I hope they'd make the right decision anyway, but I don't want to be a stumbling block. I don't want them to look at the judgment and have to be faced as Noah was at that time. Come on, Grandpa. Come on, Grandma. His children looked and saw him. I want my children, I want your children, I want you to look and see me. I want to dare to be a Noah. My life's at stake, and so many other lives may be. 8 souls were saved, and it began with Noah daring to be who God wanted him to be. Let's me and you decide to dare to be a Noah, dare to be who God wants us to be. Our soul and others relies upon it. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to watch this short devotional. We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you'll be notified of other devotionals that will be forthcoming. Also, we encourage you to join us online live as we stream our services at each service time. More information can be found on our website at the link below. Thank you.